Alright, got a 1986 Monte Carlo SS with a 350 small block in it. It started making a little noise in the engine. It wasn't knocking, but it was scraping. You can hear a couple little metal parts and everything going on. I'm gonna go ahead and tear it apart, get it all the way together. Got the original rear end in it. It needs some work. Nice little project, HardTop. Got a couple little cracks in the dash. Need some door panels. That window straight. We're gonna get it all the way together. Got a hole right here in the floor when they welded in the cross member. Just certain little small stuff. Cracks in the dash. Seats could be restored. A lot of little stuff, headliner. It's gonna be a little project. We're gonna get it all the way together. It's a true SS. So we're just gonna go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and take the hood off and get to that small block. We got a nice little small block Chevy up under here. And we got some aftermarket parts, a nice 750 carburetor, nice intake. Look like an aftermarket distributor, MSD box, double fuel pumps, aluminum radiator. Just a couple nice little pieces, some headers on it, going around the gearbox. That's much it. It's not that hard. We're gonna take everything piece by piece off. Probably start off with taking off really probably start off with draining the fluids. Drain the fluids first, the oil, everything, every fluid, the trans fluid, because it's all coming out. And then we'll go from there. Okay, I started working on the top end of the motor. First, I removed the battery. Of course, you don't want nothing electrical, happening. So remove the battery, whichever post, but I just chose to take the whole battery out. I took off the valve covers of the car. I removed the gas line right there going to the carburetor. I removed the throttle bottle cable and the kick down cable so I can pull it off once I take off. Well, I can pull it off now. Took off all 4 of the bolts. The alternator is off. Power steering is off. The alternator right there. Valve cover. Here go the valve cover studs. Had to get them out with the Allen wrench. Nothing too much. This is where the kick down and the throttle bottom cable was. And it's my alternator bolt and my power steering bolts. Trying to keep it pretty much organized. But it is just coming along pretty much good. I started taking off some of the header bolts. So I'm about to get them headers off of there, pull this intake, take the distributor out. And I still got to drain the fluids. I haven't even drained the fluids yet. But we on it. About to remove the radiator. Got the upper, lower hose removed. Had the fan grounded. Going to this red cable. The upper trans line, or this is like, this the upper one. And then I got a lower one for the trans cooler. Should be right here. About to disconnect all that. Yank it apart. Okay, this is where we at. We got the headers disconnected. I got to get up under the car and disconnect the headers from the exhaust. I got to disconnect. I was going to take out the transmission with the engine, but I did some talking with my homeboy. It looked like it's a Monster transmission, and it is still shifting, but I think the kick down cable or the shift line cable is burnt up on the car that's going to the shifter. So I think that's why it'd be kind of hard to engage it. So I'm gonna try just replacing that, but I'm most definitely gonna take out the motor. It's 6 bolts connecting the transmission to the engine, and then you got the 2 motor mounts. One right here. It goes to the back of it. It's not big at all, but it got the other side. Once I take off the headers, I'll be able to show you more. We got the engine hoist ready. We got a bolt. Then it comes out through this other side. See if I can get a picture. There we go. That other bolt right there. Yeah, that's the two bolts that hold the engine inside the car. And then, of course, the bell housing bolts. So take that out and then, you know, strap down the engine hoist and it'll be ready to come out. So, oh, and also, I started taking down the starter. It's two 9/16 bolts going to the starter. And then now it's just hanging off the wires. I think that might be a 13 bolt if you can catch it. Just take that off, the starter be out. Everything coming along pretty much good, pretty simple, straightforward, nothing too much. Okay, we went ahead and pulled the intake off the car. For the intake, I had to use 3/16 to get the intake bolts out. It was a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It was 12 bolts. And then I had 3 bolts for the flywheel. You gotta turn the motor. I had turned the motor up here on the harmonics balancer, and I was able to get to the 3 flywheel bolts. And then you got the 6 bell housing bolts. That connects the engine to the transmission. Sorry if the camera a little blurry. But you take them 6 out. 4 of them I had to get up under the car. 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, and then the 2 top ones I did up here. That's how I was able to get that out. And then now, I went ahead and took out the spark plugs also. It's 4 spark plugs on each side because it's a V8. I utilized a 5/8 to take that out. And then that's really about it. It should be ready to come out. I might have to take off the headers from the exhaust to be able to, it'll come out clean, but I'm gonna see. And then, you know, of course you should know the motor mounts. Gotta take the bolts out to the motor mounts on both sides. That's about it. Okay, ain't that way about. Alright, pulled the motor up out. All I have to really do is jack it up. Some antifreeze off the intake. See how the motor tilted. The antifreeze had got inside the motor, but I already pretty sure that the antifreeze was already inside, so it's gonna already need a tear down. But you see how it's came out of here. It dropped straight down into the oil shaft, so I know for a fact this car gonna this motor gonna need to be rebuilt for sure. It's oily as hell. Probably need a new oil pan gasket. Need a lot of little stuff. We're gonna tear this all the way down and see what's the deal. Just the car. Antifreeze went everywhere when I lifted that motor out. But it wasn't a hard process. Went ahead and got it up out of there. And for the people who don't know, them 3 flywheel bolts. This is the flywheel. There's 3 bolts going around, like 1, 2, 3, and they all go there on that torque converter. And you gotta spin the motor to get them 3 bolts out, and that's really it. And disconnect the bell housing. That bell housing and motor mounts, and the motor should come right out. You probably don't even gotta take everything off. But I went ahead and started breaking it down because I knew I was gonna be taking it off once the motor got out anyway. But this the process. That's how you do it.